Shams, let's start with the Lakers. We're 3 games into the season. Obviously, there's some concerns, but what are you seeing just as far as their structure of their roster and where they're at?
Yeah, I mean, this is a bigger problem to me than just Russell Westbrook. Like, let's get that out of the way. They have a massive shooting problem. They're shooting just 21% from three-point land this season, so that's a concern. We're not going to just all, dump it all on Russell Westbrook, but there are serious concerns about how this roster can move forward. And the Lakers, as we've been talking about for several weeks and really a month now, they're going to continue to scan options for potential trades of Russell Westbrook. And one guy that I'm hearing has emerged as a much more serious target for them this year, and as this season goes on, and as we move closer and closer to the February trade deadline, is Terry Rozier of the Charlotte Hornets. That's a guy that they've circled. They had some conversations in the offseason, so we'll see how that develops. The Hornets are 2-1 so far, so it's not a guarantee that they're even going to be willing to make a trade, but that is someone that they have their eye on. And I'm told the Lakers have also had recent conversations with the Spurs about a potential deal that would send Russell Westbrook and draft picks to the Spurs, and they would get back Josh Richardson and potentially other players. That deal also has not gotten off the ground. The Pacers deal we've talked about at length. Buddy Hield, Miles Turner, that hasn't happened. Teams are viewing the Lakers in a state of desperation, and they want either both of their unprotected first-round picks, definitely at least one, and I think that's going to create an issue. And at the end of the day, Darvin Ham was brought in to handle all of this, right? And he was brought in to handle whether Russell Westbrook is going to start or come off the bench. And right now they're 0-3 this year, and I think a lot of what we saw last year is being repeated.
I think when you look at the Lakers right now, we kind of knew what their issues were, but it was one of those, let's see how it plays out. Yeah. And if you're Rob Pelinka, you're hoping that Russell Westbrook plays well enough to entice somebody to say, all right, let's take a flyer on him. It has not worked out. And you have other teams around the league, like Shams mentioned, that are seeing this like, no, we have you over a barrel at this point, and now we're not just going to play to what you want just because you're in need of shooting.
But, I mean, they're 0-3 to start the season. I mean, this was a Lakers team where we're like, okay, they fired their head coach, maybe a change of scenery, bringing in Darvin Ham.
Healthy Anthony Davis.
Healthy Anthony Davis. Okay, now we're going to see, more of this old Lakers that we know. If they can't
put the ball through the hoop.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. But if you
let LeBron say, we can't get the right now, like.
If your captain is saying that 3 games into the season, that just shows you the state of where this team is at. The head coach took the fall last year. You brought in a new head coach. Now, if they're not going to perform up to the expectations, who do you blame now?
It's just poorly constructed, though. And the hard part about trying to, at this juncture, get this thing back to where you need it to be is you're going to end up leveraging your future to do it, because now you're talking about draft picks and everything else, and it's like, I mean, if you can get it right, then go ahead and do it. But now when you start going down that road, like, what are you doing to your future? And they've been doing that.
2 first-round picks available for the rest of this decade. We're in 2022. They only have 2 first-round picks available to be traded. And they've thought about all these different trade packages, and none make sense for their current and future.
Man, that's bad.